Hey everyone! Welcome to Be the Change. My name is Lily Mott, and today I'm going to be talking about how change comes when you remember all of the people that you're doing it for. This week's guest is Hannah Lucas, and she created an app called Not Okay, and is working on developing her own business to raise awareness about mental illness and help people with their own mental health struggles. I asked Hannah to tell me about herself, and she shared more about her app. So, without further ado, let's get started.
I'm Hannah Lucas, for everyone listening, and I'm the co-founder of the Not Okay app. The Not Okay app is a digital panic button that, when pressed, alerts the users up to 5 pre-selected trusted contacts with a message that says, "Hey, it's me and I'm not okay. Please call, text, or come check up on me," along with the user's GPS location and directions so that the trusted contacts can actually go find the users.
Before we get farther into this episode, I just wanted to share a few facts with you. Suicide is the 10th leading cause of death overall, and on top of that, it is the second leading cause of death for people aged 13 to 24. Mental illnesses are very prevalent around the world, but our society stigmatizes them and makes it difficult to address those issues. Many people, young people in particular, may feel like they're alone in their struggle. I asked Hannah to tell me about how common mental illnesses are around the world, and this is what she told me.
Well, 1 in 4 people all around the world struggle with a mental illness. And it's so crazy when you think about it, because it's like 1 in 4. That's so common, you know? And not only that, but 75% of people with 75% of those mental illnesses start to show signs and start to show up in adolescence. So it's really insane when you think about it that way.
Hannah was inspired to create her app after dealing with her own mental and physical health struggles when she first started high school. I asked Hannah to tell me the story behind her own mental health struggles and her medical diagnosis, and she shared the personal experiences that led her to develop the Not Okay app.
Okay, so my diagnosis is a whole story on its own. I'm about to turn 19 soon, but I swear I have so much life experience. But I guess the most relevant story is when I was a freshman in high school. I was so excited to go into high school. Oh my God. I had this whole new style picked out. It was like, new school, new me. I'm ready to go. Let's get this. And then the second week of school, I started passing out. It was absolutely dreadful, because I started passing out and fainting super, super often. It just became a regular thing. I literally became known as that girl in my school, the girl who passes out. And not only that, but I live in a primarily white area, and my high school was a predominantly white high school. So not only was I one of the 52 Black kids in a school of over 4,000 plus kids, but I was the Black girl who passed out, which was so much worse. And just because of that, I was bullied really, really badly. I was harassed. I was sexually threatened. I just remember guys in my engineering class saying things like, "If I ever found you passed out, it'd be my lucky day," or "You better be glad I've never found you passed out," or something like that. And God, it scared me so badly. I'd get called the N-word all the time. You'd be surprised how creative people can get when they call you variations of that word. And just because of the combination of all that, plus a mysterious chronic illness, because at the time I wasn't diagnosed, and dealing with all honors and AP classes my freshman year of high school, God, it was so much to deal with. I mean, I just lived in a constant state of terror and fear. I hated it, but luckily, halfway through my freshman year, I was diagnosed officially with POTS. It stands for postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. And it causes me to pass out, get really dizzy, lightheaded. I don't have a high enough blood volume also because of that illness. And it just causes a bunch of other complications like brain fog. So on top of everything else that I was going through, I couldn't think clearly. So it was so much going on. And after I was diagnosed, I just remember feeling so grateful that I had this diagnosis. But on the other hand, no one knew what the hell POTS was. The doctors didn't even the doctors still don't know what even causes POTS, you know? They don't know if it's curable, the treatments are kind of a hit and miss sometimes. So I was also really like, are you serious? I was like, so when I finally get a diagnosis, I don't even really know what it is, and neither do the doctors. And this would only happen to me, is what I kept thinking. And just the combination of all of those thoughts, chronic illness, narcissistic parents, all honors and AP classes, the bullying, the harassment, the sexual threats, it just really caused me to spiral into depression and anxiety because I didn't know how to cope with it. I self-harmed because that was the only way that I knew how to get everything out. I struggled with eating disorders really badly because I was too stressed out to even eat. And if I did eat, then I would eat to the point where I was throwing up. And those were the only coping mechanisms that I knew. And after a while, it was it got to the point where I just wanted myself out of the equation. I couldn't handle the pressure anymore, and I didn't want to continue to be a burden on everyone around me. It got to the point where I saw myself as the source of all of those problems that I was facing. I saw myself as the problem, so I had a suicide attempt. But luckily, my mom saved my life in the middle of that attempt, and that's when I knew I needed a tool that I could not only use for my chronic illness, but my mental illness as well. I needed something so that I would never get to a place that dark again. And that's when I came up with the idea for the Not Okay app.
The Not Okay app is the tool that Hannah felt she needed during her struggles. It's a way for people to get help when they need it from their loved ones. However, friends and family may find it difficult or may not always know how to support someone who needs their help. I asked Hannah if she had any advice for people who may see a loved one struggling with mental health. What's the best way for them to offer support?
Honestly, just listen. It's literally one of the most simple things in the world to do, but it's also one of the most difficult. Sit down and just listen to them. Don't interrupt. Don't try to give them advice, just sit and listen and be there for them. Because when someone is trying to reach out is hard enough as is. And then once you've reached out and people are there for you, it's even more difficult to voice what's going on. So just be there and listen. And don't be judgmental. Be there and listen with an open heart and an open mind.
The Not Okay app serves as a panic button for people who may need urgent support. But then, there are definitely days that everyone has when they feel blah or like they're having an off day. I asked Hannah who or what she turns to when she's not feeling great, and this is what she told me.
Personally, clothes and just fashion, I guess, has always been my safe space. So if I'm sad, I'll literally go hide and cry in my closet, or I'll pick out a cute outfit, do my makeup, wear my favorite pair of heels, and then I'll just call my mom's best friend. I call her my second mom. She's like my favorite person in the entire world, and I trust her more than I trust myself. So I guess those are my two biggest coping mechanisms that work best for me.
So, after hearing Hannah's story, I was excited to ask her my favorite question. What advice do you most want to share with young people who want to make a difference around the world? These are Hannah's words of wisdom.
When you want to start making change, my biggest piece of advice would be to write down all of the reasons you want to make this change and down all of the motivations and all of the reasons why this change needs to occur and why it needs to occur through you. And then when you start, building your nonprofit or your business or making change or whatever you're doing, just keep that piece of paper always. So whenever you're feeling down or whenever you think about calling it quits, look at it and remember all of the people that you're doing it for.
And last but not least, I asked Hannah what's in store for her app and her business in the future, and she had some very exciting news to share about the future of the Not Okay app.
Honestly, you caught me at a really great time with this question. My brother and I are actually pushing out a big update with our app. I'm really, really excited for it because it is going to allow the app to be downloaded in Canada and the UK. So we're going global. And I'm so thrilled and just excited that more people are going to be able to get the help that they need from a non-judgmental, non-stigmatized standpoint. So I'm thrilled. I'm really excited about that. That is our biggest thing coming up. I think the update should be released by January 31st, our third anniversary. So we are super excited.
After hearing Hannah's story, I am inspired by the way that she used her own struggles and the hardships she faced as motivation to make a difference for others. She recognized that her challenges with mental and physical health were horrible, but she also recognized that she had the vision and the opportunity to prevent those challenges for others. Hannah saw her chance to improve the lives of others, and she took that chance because, in the spirit of her own advice, change comes when you remember all of the people that you're doing it for. Thank you so much for listening to this episode, and you can follow Hannah on Instagram at It's Hannah Lucas, and you can follow the Not Okay app at Not Okay app on Instagram to learn more about the app. If you want to talk about anything I mentioned, please reach out to me by email at lily@bethechangepodcast.org or on Instagram at bethechangepodcast. Tune in for my next episode, but until then, be the change you wish to see in the world. Bye, guys!